Real Success, the best practices of real estate power brokers. Today's guest.
Well, security is a concern primarily today because of identity theft. And we're starting to realize how valuable protecting data is. And so security, if you think about a real estate transaction, just about every step in a real estate transaction includes some exchange of information. Information is valuable. Information leads to identity. Identity leads to identity theft. And so when we're talking about protecting data today, security becomes essential. And there are a number of ways to enhance the security. But let me give you some ideas of why this is so critical. Information that we might not think is valuable might be components in establishing identity. And so if you look at a lot of the social networking sites today that want you to create a profile, you need to be careful about creating a profile that's visible to the world. You say, well, all they want is my name. Everybody knows my name. Well, that's true, they do. All they want is my address. Okay, you give somebody's name and their address, you're starting to create an identity. Well, all they want to know is what year I was born. I'm very careful about giving anybody any information about what month and what year I was born because that's part of my identity. And with that information, somebody can start to piece together who I am, and they might be able to steal my identity. You know, to retrieve my password, often there are password questions. Have you ever seen them? What street were you raised on? What's the name of your dog? Those are all pieces of your identity. As a matter of fact, often the name of your dog is your password for your bank account. And so all of these things that seem like they're not critical and not important with regard to security, when all those pieces start to get put together by somebody who has the intention of harming you, stealing your identity, it's easier for them to do so. Now, we have to become conscious and aware of that. We're not. We give away this information because we don't believe it's that important. But when somebody aggregates that information, they now might have access to our personal identity, to our bank accounts, to our credit card accounts, to creating for us a lot of heartache and a lot of work because we weren't careful with all of our information. So when we're out looking today and we're asked to join websites, and think about it, you sign up at Amazon, you sign up wherever you sign up, they want a lot of this information, which often doesn't appear to be all that important, and you're willing to give some of it away. But I think we need to be more careful with it, and we need to be looking for advances in the protection of our data as we move through 2008 and beyond. The average term of home ownership is something like 5 to 8 years, so people don't need real estate every day. You need to understand that one of the most important things you do in real estate is you market. Now, I recommend that people write that down, market. And they put it up on the wall and they look at it every day. Now, what do you market in real estate? You market three things. You market yourself, you market your services, and you market your listings. And you want to remember that every single day. You market yourself, you market your services, you market your listings. And you might put it on the wall so you look at it so you don't miss one opportunity to market yourself, market your services, market your listings. Now, some key points that I think are just essential when it comes to marketing, and every new realtor needs to write these down and put them on the wall, and that is number one, be found. You want to do everything you can to be found. Number two, you need to realize that the marketing you do today creates the business of tomorrow. And that's important. The marketing you do today creates the business of tomorrow. And so when you're out there marketing, you typically don't expect a result right away because you know the average term of home ownership is 5 to 8 years. What you have to realize, the marketing you do today creates the business of tomorrow. That means if you miss a day, there'll be some day in the future where you don't get any business. So the marketing you do today creates the business of tomorrow. And also that you have to market consistently. That marketing is this process of repetition where you have to market over and over and over again. And I recommend people read Seth Godin, wrote Purple Cow and Small is the New Big and Permission Marketing. And he says that, here's what you need to do. Your marketing needs to be frequent. It's important. It needs to be frequent. It needs to be anticipated. As a matter of fact, if something's anticipated, if I anticipate I'm going to get something from you, there's a greater chance when I get it, I'm going to actually see it. It needs to be frequent. It needs to be anticipated. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be relevant. When you walk into a drugstore, you typically don't notice the cold remedies unless you have a cold. People don't notice real estate marketing because they're not in the market to buy real estate, but every 5 to 8 years. It needs to be frequent, anticipated, relevant, and if you can make it personal. ePro is the National Association of Realtors Technology Certification Program. It's the only technology certification offered by the National Association of Realtors. We're going to give you the fundamentals to be able to market yourself using technology. And I'll give you one key piece, most important piece I could give to any realtor, and a lot of them ignore it, but I don't care. I'm still going to tell them, you need a permanent email address. You need an email address that never changes. Not an AOL email address, not a Yahoo email address, not a Gmail email address, not a SBC Global email address. You need to be youatyourname.com. Your email address is an asset of your business. It's an asset. It has value. And not only is it an asset, it's an asset that you invest in every time you give away a business card. You think about it. Every time you give away a business card, you're saying, I know you probably don't want to buy or sell real estate for 5 to 8 years, but when you're ready, contact me. And so they've got your business cards, got your email address. They send you an email 5 years from now. What happens if you've changed email addresses? Your email address is an asset of your business. It becomes valuable. It actually is the residual value of your real estate business. You can retire from real estate today, and 2 or 3 years from now, you'll get an email from somebody wanting to list or sell their house, and you want to be able to take advantage of it. ePro. Real estate content being syndicated. This really is the future of data on the internet. And so while as a realtor, I enter my data into the MLS, I have to enter it into a lot of other places. It would be much easier for me if I could enter it in one place and then it got syndicated out to many places. And so what I want to be able to do is enter my data, my listing data, and then I would like maybe it to go to all of the free places on the internet that it can go to. Why? Because people might find it. And I want my listing information to be found. And by the way, a listing is a marketing asset. And at point 2, this is what we teach people. A listing is a marketing asset. So I'm going to market the listing, and oftentimes people are going to find that listing, contact me. They're not going to buy that property. They're going to buy another property. Before there was an internet, for years, we run an ad in the paper. We put a sign up so people what? Call. They might not buy that property, but they'll buy another property. So the listing actually is a marketing asset, and I want to display it in as many places as possible. But one of the hindrances to doing that is I have to enter it numerous times. If I could enter it once and it could get syndicated out to many places, that would be very, very valuable for me as a realtor. Now, how about this? Who calls and places the ads in the newspaper? The receptionist or somebody in the office? So not only is it entered, then somebody else calls the newspaper, and it has to be, what if when we entered it into one place, when we entered it into the MLS, or we entered it into a vehicle that then sent the information to the MLS, it also sent the listing information to those free websites, and then it was smart enough, the technology was smart enough to figure out where I lived, and it brought up all of the local advertisers, and then I could just check the box where I wanted to advertise, and the amount, the cost is predetermined, and the credit card's already been entered, and it just charges me automatically. And so now this whole process of getting that information about my listing out there through the term that they're using is syndication, which I really believe is one of the points that MLSs need to be looking at for the future of multiple listing services, to take that content and to be able to disseminate it to those places that it needs to be disseminated. So syndication of listing content is a very important piece today.
RIS Media, the leader in real estate information systems, has been providing business-building strategies to real estate professionals and service providers for almost 30 years. Visit rismedia.com today to learn how our world-class content and renowned industry events can help brand and position your company for long-term success. Stay tuned for the next episode of the RIS Media Network's Real Success.